Oh, hi there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for your learning. Let's find the function that would give us this graph here. So how will we do that? Well, we first extract our amplitude, the equation of the axis, the period, and the phase shift. So if I know that the maximum is 11, the minimum is -1, I find the amplitude by doing half of the difference between those two things. So I take 11 and I subtract -1 and I divide it by 2, and that will give me 6. It's the same as the function on the previous one. So I know that a equals 6. Okay? Because 11 minus -1 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. Okay. What's the equation of the axis? For this one, you take the average of the maximum and the minimum, not the difference, and that already involves dividing by 2. So this one is 11 plus -1 divided by 2, and that equals 5. So y equals 5 for the axis. What's the period? Well, I know we could say we start a cycle there. We finish that cycle there, start a new one. And so I would do 33 minus 13 is 20. So in that case, k equals 360 divided by 20. And that is also a thing that is, I should tell you, is 18. Okay, 18. Okay, k is equal to 18. All right, so now we've got everything we need except for this phase shift. All right, now there's some strategies to find the phase shift here, okay? And all of them are going to involve algebra, but just to varying degrees. If I want to do a cosine function, I can say I know cosine starts there and goes down. Cosine starts at a maximum and goes down. So I could create a cosine function, and all I need is a d transformation that would push that maximum of 13 to the right. Oh, minus 13 will do. So there I already have it. Okay, so this is f of x is equal to 6 is the amplitude. Wait, let's just do a general one. F of x is equal to a sine bracket k bracket x minus d bracket bracket plus c. Okay, and then let's fill in our bits. F of x is equal to, we said a cosine, so we can use cosine or sine. So I'm going to do cosine first. 6 cosine of, we know the k value is 18. We know that this is x, and then I want to create a movement right by 13, okay? Or to the left by 7. Why to the left by 7? Because I know back there at -7 is another maximum. Why? Because I can do minus 20. I can subtract the period from that x value to find another one. All right, so I could do x minus 13 because that's going to move it right by 13 plus 5. So that would be done full marks. Or here's another one. F of x is equal to 6 cosine of 18x plus 7. That one would also work, plus 5. Okay. I can also use a negative a transformation. I could say f of x is equal to -6 cosine of 18x. It's going to be -3. Yeah, because here, if I did negative a value, then cosine would start at a minimum and go up because I've reflected it in the x-axis. So that I need to push that by 3 that way. Okay, so that would be x minus 3 plus 5. Okay, all of those would be full marks. And then I could use sine. And that'll be harder. And I'll show you how. And use some algebraic things. If you don't know these tricks, you don't need these tricks, but I'll show you the algebra. All right, g of x is going to be equal to a sine of, and this time 18 x minus, pretend I don't know it, d plus 5. And now let's go take a look at it. All right. If I know that the horizontal axis is at 5, I can go ahead and do that and know that that sine starts on the horizontal axis and goes up. That seems to be happening at the x value of 8. So if I know that that's the point 85, and that was normally the starting point, I need to move it 8 in that direction, so minus 8. Right? So d is positive 8, and so we have x minus 8 in the function. Okay, but let's say I don't know that, and I go ahead and I grab, let's say, this point. This point. 13. This point. 3 minus 1. This one. We're going to use this one. You can use any one you want. And if you choose like that point, then you need to make sure you choose the right one. It could be a descending sign or an ascending sign, and I ain't got time for that right now. So I'm going to choose 1311. Sure, let's use 1311. That's a cute point. I made this function so that it had lots of 3's and 1's in it. So let's embrace that, and 1311 instead of 3311, or instead of 3 negative 1. Okay, let's go 1311. So I know that g at 13 equals 11 equals, not a, this should be 6. This is going to be the same amplitude, the same k, and the same c, whether it's sine or cosine. The only thing different is going to be the phase shift. So 13 is going to be equal to 11, which is equal to 6 sine 18 times 13, because x is 13 here, minus d plus 5. All right, let's go ahead and inverse operate that so we isolate d. Okay, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Minus 5, minus 5. So that we get 6 equals 6 sine of 18 times 13 is, all right, 234. 234. I thought I was going to get there before my calculator did, but I was wrong. 18D. It's late in the year. My brain's slowing down too. And then we're going to divide both sides by 6. Oh, look at that. Sine is at its maximum. 1 is equal to sine of 234 minus 18d. Okay, cool. All right, where is sine at a maximum? Only 90. So I can sine inverse here. And if I do that, that goes away. And it gives me sine inverse of 1 is 90. I get that from unit circle. Okay, here is unit circle. Sine is 90 is 1. Okay, so we're gonna just do that. But Mr. Jennings, I don't know that. Okay, well, 1. Okay, take the inverse sine of it, 90. Okay, there you go. All right, so calculator, if you're a little bit unsure, use your calculator to verify. So then we know that 90, and that's also the only one. There's not 2 different signs that have the same thing. It's at a maximum, so there's only one value of sine that gives 1, and that's 90. Well, so it's not true. I mean, 450 gives you 1, or negative 270, but those are coterminal angles. They're the same thing. So, okay, so 90 equals 234 minus 18d. Subtract 234 from both sides. Isn't that convenient? 90 minus 234 equals negative 144. Cool, my favorite numbers. But I didn't know that it was negative. Okay, negative 144 equals negative 18 times d. Divide both sides by negative 18. 144 divided by 18 is 8. So that's just going to be 8 equals d. And that's what I told you it would be by working visually. So you want to have both methods so that you can verify. And I would still do the algebra here. Even if I was like, I'm 99% sure it's 8, then I would plug that in and I would just check these different points. Like I would check, does that give me an output of 11 when I input 13? Does that give me an output of 11 when I input 33? If the answer is yes, I'm pretty sure that this is correct. So that's how you would approach that question. Any questions? Hit me up by email. Bye. It's taking me a long time to say goodbye.